Hi, welcome back to Everyday Behavior. My name is Mary Ann Shepard, and this series we're talking about high intensity, low frequency behavior. So you may find yourself in a school or as a parent with a behavior that doesn't occur very often, but when it does occur, it's incredibly concerning, very worrisome, and you aren't really sure how to respond to that particular behavior. My biggest message for this month is don't focus on that behavior. You want to focus on, does this behavior occur as part of a larger response class? And so we have a video previously that talks about a larger response class, but it's a series of behaviors or a set of behaviors that all serve the same function. So typically your major aggression, your major property destruction, or your major threats, like threats to harm themselves or harm someone else, typically occur as part of a larger class of behaviors where there's a lot of less intense, higher frequency behaviors. And so you want to try and determine, does this behavior that is so concerning occur as part of a larger set of behaviors? If this behavior does occur as part of a larger set of behaviors, rather than just focusing on that one very intense behavior, you want to focus on the whole class of behaviors, and you want to have a similar intervention or a similar response to the whole class so that you're addressing the whole problem, not just one variable or an isolated variable within that class of behaviors. So again, response class is a behavior that occurs, or they all serve the same function or the same purpose. So you're again going back to function, not the topography of the behavior. So do all of these behaviors serve the purpose of attention? Do they all serve the function of access to a tangible item? Do they all serve the purpose of escape from a task demand? So assess and intervene on all the behaviors in the response class, not just the isolated behaviors. You want to also make sure that you're intervening on those less intense, more frequent behaviors that are earlier in the behavior chain. So ask yourself, what occurs right before this? What's part of that stimulus class right before this? What is part of the antecedents? Are there any behaviors that are occurring before less intense, like tapping their pencil in irritation, maybe mild whining, or a lack of sleep the night before? Are there other behaviors, other antecedents, other stimuli that are occurring earlier in that group of behaviors, in the chain of behaviors, where one behavior leads to the next behavior and escalates to the next behavior and the next behavior? Because typically that high intensity behavior has been building over maybe a short period of time or maybe a couple of hours, but you can see the buildup coming. And so you ask yourself, what happens that means that this behavior is coming? How do I know, oh, today's going to be a day? What are those more frequent, but less intense behaviors? So where in the chain can we intervene? And typically when you intervene, you want to focus on what are the replacement behaviors that we can put on place at the first link in the chain? What are the skills that we can teach so that we prevent the chain from escalating, from going to the next step and going to the next step? So how can we really focus on intervention while we're still calm, while there's still, a chance of intervening? How can we focus there at that first behavior in the chain? So as soon as we see table tapping, okay, what's that a sign of? How can we intervene so that they can more functionally request what it is that they want, or that we can teach some skills at that stage so that we don't ever get to this high intensity behavior? When you're conducting your functional behavior assessment in the schools, maybe you're working on an FBA or a manifest determination or a behavior intervention plan, whatever that is, really assess the whole class of behaviors. Don't just assess that one single behavior, because you won't have enough information in your ABC logs or in your FAST or in your interviews to really make a determination of what the function is, or to see a pattern of behaviors if you're just focusing your FBA on a single behavior, but really focus on the broader class of behaviors, those antecedent variables, those earlier behaviors in the behavior chain, so that you can have a better pattern of behavior or a better picture of behavior. And then when you're developing your behavior intervention plan, again, focus early in the chain. Don't focus on the crisis moment. Focus on the teachable moments, okay? So I hope this has given you some ideas and some information. As with all of our videos, they are created and presented by Everyday Behavior with Dr. Mary Ann, but they are funded in part by the Oklahoma State Department of Education. I just want to thank you for attending today and encourage you to locate more information on our website at everydaybehaviors.com, to follow on Facebook, to subscribe to us on YouTube, or watch out for our upcoming podcast channels. Thank you and have an excellent day.